You want sports? We got sports for you right here, Woodward Sports.
I'm never late. I'm always on time.
Oh.
When have I ever watched him?
I want wings and pizza.
Is wings and pizza?
I want wings and pizza.
Yeah. I played with that gorilla. You hear me?
Okay. You have a Tesla. You float here. Hey, what is up? So glad you could join us on a Monday morning here on Woodward Sports. This is easy for me. I'm with a couple of legends. Terry Foster, Braylon Edwards, of course, former star at Michigan, NFL player as well. Fellas, good morning. What's up?
Good morning. You talked to Braylon today. I'm a little spicy with you today.
What did I do?
How come you didn't invite me to your with Sean, you didn't invite me to your viewing party last night for
oh god.
Floyd Mayweather.
The greatest match ever?
Huh?
The greatest match
Greatest
ever?
match ever. Man, this is better than Ali Frazier.
Shame on me. Like seriously. Now, full disclosure, I didn't pay a dime for it, okay? And it was a viewing party for one.
Uh-oh.
But listen, I had...
Keep all the particulars to yourself. We don't want to get you in trouble.
No, Braylon, you saw it. Shame on me for wasting minutes of my time watching it. Shame on me.
It's
What
culture
was wrong
today.
with it?
It was an influencer that people who don't know who he is, fighting someone that is claimed to be one of our GOATs, the greatest of all time. That's what's wrong with it. Like Logan
I
Paul,
know that part, but what was wrong with the actual fight?
Well, you know what Floyd's going to do? Floyd's going to take 4 rounds to fill you out. He did that with the influencer as well. Logan Paul is 7 inches taller than him darn near and kept him at bay for the first 4 rounds, and it just was boring. It was a typical boring Floyd fight. And then you add on the fact that this guy's not an experienced boxer. You want to see Floyd drop this guy and knock him out.
That's right.
The biggest thing to me, I got to give this guy credit. My man can take a shot. Floyd took a couple shots at him.
Yeah.
Were they knockout blows or anything like that? No. But I thought at the least he cut him open. And then it's interesting because, this is the biggest target that Floyd's ever had in his life when you think about it, right? Yeah. I mean, it's the biggest target he ever had. He took advantage of that target.
I'll give him credit. I'll give Logan Paul credit. You can't have a guy be in the ring with someone that seasoned, that skilled, no matter the height difference, no matter the weight difference. You can't be in with someone that seasoned, that good, last that long, and not get credit for that.
Yep.
He made 8 rounds. His wind was good. It looked like he was a little windy around 5-6.
Early, yeah.
He picked it up.
Yep.
He went 7-8, did okay. So I give him credit for that. You can tell that Floyd was playing with him. It was a big showman from the crowd because there was actually one blow, if you remember, in the 5th or 6th. He caught him, and Logan went to sleep on Floyd's shoulder for a second. Floyd helped him, carried him up to continue the fight. So he could have dropped him.
Here's what he needs. Don't fight Mike Tyson because I don't care how old Tyson is. He has no filter. He would say, "You're in the ring with me. I'm going to kill you."
Exactly.
He was in with the right guy. Mike Tyson, man, would be still beating his ass.
Yeah, Mike fought when the Roy Jones fight happened. When Mike fought Roy Jones in one of these Triller-type random dream matches, he could have killed Roy Jones Jr. You could see that after about the 2nd round, he started being like, okay, I don't want to kill Roy. I'm actually going to play the nice guy, and he's the new Tyson. That's the nice one. That's what he was for the rest of the fight because he could have killed Roy Jones in that fight.
Easily.
Yeah.
No, you know what? This is, as I was watching it last night, Terry, I think I know where you're going with this because I felt great shame watching it. I'm not going to lie. This is what we have become as a society. People, I can't imagine people spent money on this. People.
Not me.
Not me. I didn't spend a dime on it.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
$49.99, yeah.
This is what we become. And you
right.
knew exactly. Braylon, you are 100% right. We knew what it was going to be. But we tuned in anyway.
Funny thing is, we all knew what was going to happen. We all knew what it was going to be, whether we watched it or you didn't watch it or you read about it. Still, people are complaining, saying the fans, that was the people that watched it, oh, this isn't what we thought we were going to get. Oh, we're upset. Oh, we're disappointed. How the hell are you disappointed in a fight like that?
All right, this goes back to the basis of this. People are stupid. They are. People
Flat
are
out.
stupid.
Yeah.
When you look at the politics, when you look at the way people are acting on planes today, when you look at who our heroes are today, people are stupid.
Yeah. Representation.
It's getting worse. And you know what? If I'm playing the role of the old man here, then let me old man it, because it is. It's especially, Terry, what you just said. The people that we put on pedestals today, it's downright frightening. It is. It's frightening. It's like, oh, and that goes every walk of life, political party. It's disgusting. What was that quote? Could you put up that quote by his brother again? That's just
Jake.
absolute insane. Somebody told me that's what Jake Paul said this morning. 50-1, holy bleep, my brother just beat Floyd Mayweather. I have no idea what fight he was watching.
Right.
But this goes to your point, Braylon. If a win is I survived a guy that could have literally dissected me, congratulations, you won. He won the
100%.
fight. If that's what a win is, he won the fight.
100%. And that was the issue I had with the way in which he fought it. If you're an actual boxing fan and not one of these young millennials that don't understand it, if you understand the sweet science, you saw what Floyd did. He showed you that he was what he was. He literally could have ended the fight at any time. A real boxing fan saw that. But if you're not a boxing fan and you're just somebody that was happy to watch the spectacle and you were like, Logan Paul can beat him, he's jacked, he's so much bigger, then you didn't pay attention to the 10 or 15% landed punches versus Floyd's 38%.
Yep.
Like, it's no way he won, but that's why I was mad at Floyd. Because Floyd should have beat him handily so that people could have seen a butt whooping, as opposed to now it's a narrative. Oh, man, he lost. Floyd lost. Floyd took a hit on his career. He took a hit on his iconic legacy.
But,
Arthur.
it's the right guy, because Floyd doesn't care. Floyd puts $1 million bets. This dude's a billionaire.
$100 million profit, though, by
Yeah,
the way.
he doesn't care if he lacks. We want to see him knock Logan Paul out, but Floyd don't care.
No.
Yeah.
But me, I'd be an asshole. I would say, okay, if I could box and some scrub got in near me, I'm killing your ass.
Absolutely.
I am
Mincemeat.
I'm going to try to knock you out in the first round, and if I fail, you're going out in the second round.
Floyd's the type of guy that maybe we know this, maybe we don't. I could see him saying, look, I'm not going to embarrass you if I get 10% of every one of your circuses from this point on.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, seriously, he's a businessman. He's a businessman. Arthur.
Yeah, we have footage of Jake Paul reacting to Logan in the ring with Floyd.
You gotta put that up.
Yeah, we're gonna play that right now.
30 seconds. Let's fucking go. 30 seconds. 30 seconds for the rest of your fucking life.
He's also not in his right mind, so I mean,
You're
there's
winning.
that.
Oh, uppercut. Yeah. 30 seconds for the rest of your life. 10 seconds. Logan, got your fucking career. Got your fucking career.
It's like Conor McGregor and
50 and
Fitzmagic.
50 and 1. Fuck all of you.
Wow, clown shoes, man. Clown shoes.
Yeah, it is. It's clown. You know what? And look at the way he's dressed and everything. I like Conor McGregor and Fitzmagic. He's kind of a caricature of that guy from Livonia. Hey, yo, what up, dude? Look, I'm legit. Look at him. Come on.
That's the era, though. That's what they've seen on social media. That's what is popular. That's what they think they have to do to have success. And so,
Why are these people in my life? That's what I want to know. Why are they in my life?
because they put them on platforms, they give them platforms to do their thing, and people like them, so we have to talk about them. That's what it is
I
today.
need to get a YouTube channel and do stupid shit. Is that it?
To get money, they do dumb stuff and get paid for it. So
Yeah, you gotta live in a mansion. You gotta light your mattress on
Oh,
fire,
wow.
throw that shit out the
So I
window.
gotta do that?
you got to buy Pokemon cards
Yeah,
that are
you-
worth $1 million, all that type of stuff.
Not
How
only that,
much-
you gotta have
how
good
much do you
reaction.
think
a
a fight would-
Charmander?
How much would
Gotta
a
have
fight net us if I fought Corey Wood?
What if I fight you? How much would that be? How much would we make? We can get somebody to sanction that fight.
$100.
I would be the undercard because I've said this before, and it's an open offer. I'll fight Mikey TikTok.
Yeah, Sean Baligian
I'm
versus Mikey
30 years
TikTok.
older than him, and I'll whoop that kid's ass like it's nobody's business. Right behind the tool shed. I got no problem doing that. But he's ducking me. He's ducking me.
Based on what happened last night, earlier in the night, I think football players and basketball players might need to stay out of that ring. You saw Chad Johnson, not our Chad Johnson. Ocho Cinco got dropped in the fourth. You saw Nate Robinson try his hand at boxing and back in November. He got dropped so many times, but actually was pretty bad. I think these athletes, we need to stay our asses out of the ring. We need to do something. Maybe fitness. Like, get out the boxing ring. Because
You specialize in something.
Right.
For instance, Ben Wallace, one of the greatest basketball players in Pistons history, he was in a softball game. He can't throw a softball. He kind of throws it like this. But he specializes in rebounding, defending. But you take him out of his sport, look like another dude.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? And Terry, I loved your line. Why are these people in my life? I'm part of the problem. I'll openly admit it. These guys, we have a group text last night. I'm watching the hockey game. It was, no other way to say it. It was a shit game, the second game. Vegas is running away, and all of a sudden these guys start talking, and somebody asked, it was Joey.
Yeah.
Joey goes, "Where does somebody have a link?" They put up the link. Immediately started watching it.
But it's also one of those situations where we live in this world now where things can happen. Like random stuff can happen that couldn't happen back in the day. I'll give you a better version of it. DK Metcalf, up-and-coming football player, Pro Bowl wide receiver, super strong guy that we see, and everybody talks about. He's jacked, he's this, that, and the third. Can DK run with the Olympians in track? You know what? Let's see. Yeah. And now he runs Olympians. Well, can Jake Paul box, or can we're getting to this point where a more exaggerative, better narrative, like what if The Rock and John Cena got into a boxing match? You know what? We live in an era where that's possible, and that's why we're talking about Jake Paul and Floyd, potentially Floyd fighting Conor McGregor for the second time. We live in that world now.
I'm a big fan of stay in your lane. I am. I mean, really, I hate even bringing up that line because I think we all think about a certain father, but I'm a big fan of stay in your lane.
Okay, fellas, this is not new, though. Didn't we have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar against Bruce Lee? Did we have
Game of Death?
Muhammad?
That was different, though.
Game of Death was great.
It was a movie.
No.
Remember his
it's for
footprint?
real. Outside the movie, they actually fought.
True.
And then you had Muhammad Ali against a sumo wrestler.
Oh, I remember.
One time. I mean,
Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee fought.
Right. So we've had junk before. So this is nothing new.
But you went back 60 years.
I don't know who. Yeah, I know, but they did it. At least I knew who these people were, except for the Japanese sumo wrestler. I admit I did not know who he was. But I don't know why Logan Paul and Chris Paul, what's his name?
Logan Paul, Jake
Paul are in my life.
Yeah.
And not just in my life, but like a dominant part of my life.
They're not going anywhere.
It's because of young kids, though.
Yeah.
Like it's the kids that play Fortnite. It's the kids that are watching YouTubers and subscribing to the YouTubers. They're watching that intent. They're watching that content. They're pushing that. These kids now have phones at 8 years old, 9 years old. So now they're following from 8 to 17. These guys are getting popular off that. That's why they're partnering, because the millennials dominate that culture, and it brings older individuals like us in to talk shit about it. Like, what do we do?
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys watch it? We're going to ask you when we come back. And as Terry said, why are these people in my life, and why aren't they going anywhere? I think that's part of it, isn't it? Didn't we all want to see, like, Floyd shut this guy's mouth up for once?
Yeah.
Didn't happen. They're going to stick around. Hope you stick around as well. What a cheesy segue. Woodward Sports, Terry Foster, Braylon Edwards, Sean Baligian. You know, it's funny, some comments just on Facebook. These Pauls are clown shows. It's a problem with this generation. They are internet bottom feeders. Walter said jackass on steroids. Richard said my kids call them scrubs. Tammy, it's all about the money. Mayweather is expected to make anywhere between $50 and $100 million, made $30 million before even throwing a punch. Terry, this goes back to what you said. Floyd Mayweather is a businessman. He is a showman. Are you kidding me? He's going to take that cash. Who wouldn't?
He's going to take that, and he doesn't have that hunger.
Yeah.
And I think money takes away the hunger because he's got such a ridiculous amount of money. But aren't we part of the problem?
Yes.
We are older, and we should know better. And we're still up here talking about this shit.
We have to. we have to.
Terry,
Hi, YouTubers.
I asked you a very important question, though, and I appreciate your honesty. If you had the capability to watch it for free last night as you were at Chateau Foster,
Yes.
would you have watched it?
I probably would have watched some of it. But then when it got boring, I'm going to turn it off.
Yeah.
Because if I see Floyd Mayweather, just kind of prancing around, and I see Jake Paul kind of hugging him and stuff, I'm out after a round or two. I'm not watching the whole thing.
I think the difference with this too, though, and I'm gonna jump in on that point, is it's different than an actual sweet science, a real boxing match. Like when I'm watching a real boxing match, like a Gotti and Ward, or I'm watching Diego and Castillo, when I'm two of the greatest fights ever. But when I'm watching these fights, I'm going into it with a certain mind frame. Like, even if I go watch at someone's house or I order, I'm sitting down, I'm dialed in. I want to see the punches landed, the punches missed. I want to see who's aggressive in the beginning, who's aggressive. I'm watching it as a boxing fan, semi-knowledgeable. Going into a Jake Paul, a Logan Paul, a Chad Johnson, a DJ Paul Wall, or whoever the hell is fighting, like in that entertainment space, I'm going to go out with my friends. We're going to crack some jokes. We'll enjoy wherever we watch the fight at. It's more of a entertainment spectacle that I happen to be watching and cracking all the jokes on, as opposed to really watching the boxing match. It's fun. It's fun. It's something fun.
You know what's interesting? You mentioned one that it is near and dear to my heart. The trilogy was great, but Irish Mickey Ward and Arturo Gotti was an absolute. And it's funny, Terry. I think you knew Emmanuel Sanders the late Emmanuel Sanders. When I kind of went up in Emmanuel Sanders' book, I could see it. He was doing the commentary in that fight, if you remember.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And we started talking about the fight, and his eyes lit up. Yeah. And I'm telling you, he went on for 10 minutes about what a great fight that is. And that's the problem, unfortunately, with boxing. Those fights are so few and far between now. I mean, that's 18 years ago, for goodness sake. And here, guys like us are still sitting there waxing poetically about it. And that's the unfortunate thing about boxing, is we don't have those monumental. When we were growing up,
it's called Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
it's called the duck and dodge. Floyd created the duck and dodge. People learned from that. They started ducking and dodging. Like, oh, you mean I don't have to fight this guy that I'm supposed to fight, or I can dance around? I can wait 5 years to fight an individual till he's older than me. Floyd started that. You don't have to do that anymore, and that's why and people are doing their own thing. Canelo's off doing his own thing on DAZN. Floyd's doing his thing over here. Somebody's on Showtime. Floyd started that, and it kind of slowed boxing down.
All right, let me turn into old man again.
All right.
Uh-oh.
I remember back in the day, the welterweight division, just one division.
The 80s.
Every fight was something. You had Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard. They all fought each other at some point, and they didn't duck each other. And when they fought, you knew somebody was going to lose, but, man, those dudes stood up, and, man, those were some exciting fights. Fights we never forget.
The best.
The first Tommy and Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
The first Tommy. Oh, my God. You talking about somebody being able to withstand that and come back like Sugar Ray did in the end? Like he set Detroit back with that fight.
Yeah.
He set us back.
Man, he told him, stay away. This fight's won. Yeah, Tommy couldn't do it. Tommy had to go get his pound of flesh.
Detroit, baby.
What's up, Art?
I know it's about the money, obviously, but, Foster had just mentioned the Four Kings, and Showtime's doing an entire series on the Four Kings, the four legends, during
Yesterday
that time.
was the first day, right?
What's that?
They debuted last night, right?
which is why I'm bringing it up. The same network that is covering the legends of the sport are also entertaining this shit show Circus. It's just so crazy. And I get money is the motive, as always. Yeah. But how can you as a network cover something so legendary and then something so... It's like a circus. It's a carnival. I get that it brings attention but it's bad for boxing. I mean, the fact that this will most likely outsell any of the boxing pay-per-views this year. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
I watched that Mike Tyson special last week. I don't know if you saw it, the 2-part special.
It was on Hulu. I caught it on Hulu.
Mike is something, and it's funny because, Art, to your point, I think there are people, perhaps like you and I, Terry. Mike Tyson was the baddest man on the planet, period, end of story. He struck fear in human beings. You watched him strike fear in human beings. You watched Michael Spinks walk in. That fight was over the second he walked in the ring. It was over. It was done. And, the fact that it took 79 seconds or whatever, that was inconsequential. But unfortunately, what happened, especially after Buster Douglas, is he turned into the clown show that Art talked about. But that's, Terry, for me, I was always the person back then, and Braylon, you probably remember it, although you're a little younger, I wanted to see that one more great glimpse of Tyson.
Yeah.
Not the circus. I didn't care about biting ears and praise be to Allah as he eats children.
We were hanging on.
I just wanted to see it one more time. I wanted to see him get low and that uppercut where he just destroyed people's lives. And
even after Holyfield, even after Holyfield 1, Holyfield 2, Lennox Lewis, even after those where we clearly knew that it was over.
Yep.
We clearly knew that Tyson was past his prime and he would not give. We still had hope. Even when he was booking fights, like when he fought the 6'8" guy, I was like, he's going to give me that one moment, agreeing with me. And then my back is broke, is what he said. And we always, even now, when he was fighting Roy Jones last year, I still wanted to see that one moment,
But I think he got exposed. He got old, but also, if you can box, you can beat Mike Tyson.
Yep.
If you go in there, I'm not afraid. I'm going to box. He's going to hit me now and then, but if I'm going to score points, you can beat his ass.
He won so many fights, like you said, before he ever got into the ring. He's walking down with just a towel over his neck. He's walking down there. Guys are intimidated. But if you get in there, it's like Trevor Berbick. Not Berbick, but Razor Ruddock.
Yeah.
Razor Ruddock in that fight, if you get past round 4 and 5, like Buster, like you said, it's like he turns into a different guy.
Yep.
He's like, wait, this guy can fight. He's not scared. Oh, shoot, Customato's now dead. What the hell do I do?
Yeah. Yep, no doubt about it. Is boxing ever come back? I'm talking to two guys that enjoy it, so sorry. We're gonna keep going, and you can deal with it. You guys ever think boxing gonna come back? Terry, start with you.
No, because I think MMA
Me too.
is the king, and there's so many different aspects of fighting that are in MMA, and they're starting to develop personalities. That I think that's going to be king. And the boxers, not only must you box, you have to have someone who can compete with you, and you've got to have some type of personality.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about being athletic. It's about, okay, I'm interested in you.
Yeah.
If I'm not interested in you, I don't care how good you are. I'm out. That's the way our society is today.
Bray, what do you think?
Not to level where it used to be at. The death of two divisions destroyed it. The welter, like that welter/middle, and then the heavyweight division, like the heavyweight division was boxing, and then it was the welter middleweight. Then it went back to the heavyweights in the 90s. That won't exist anymore because it's 18,000 belts now. Guys are fighting from all countries now. I don't want to come to America to fight. Well, I don't want to come over there to fight. I don't want to fight this guy. I don't want to fight that guy. Well, I want this belt. Well, I have that belt. It's so much going on, and there's so many politics. They're just creating belts now for people to have them. Guys don't have those 3 belts or 4 belts and have to fight amongst that. And they don't have to do that anymore. It'll never get back to that. And like Terry said, MMA is king.
Right.
Art, I think that makes you happy, doesn't it?
It's just,
you should invest in MMA and get rich.
Yeah.
Maybe do a show, call it like the Art of Combat or something like that.
Man, that's got a nice
there you
ring
go.
to it. It's crazy. No, that's the thing is, like, when you look at boxing and with me covering, mixed martial arts, the one thing Dana would never do is create a 165-pound division. And at first I was pissed about it. I was like, that would be perfect in between 155 and 170. All you need is the blueprint for boxing to see that that's a terrible idea. When there's too many divisions, too many champs, I got upset when Dana decided to do interim champs because it's like it just adds too much to it. So I think, again, we're entertaining celebrities fighting against arguably the greatest defensive boxer of all time. It's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit on our planning sheet. Does the balance of power change a little bit in the AFC and subsequently in the NFL? Pretty big move yesterday for a guy that has
Julio.
a lot of tread on his tire. Who better to ask than a former NFL wide receiver sitting next to us? We'll get into that Terry Foster, Braylon Edwards, I'm Sean Baligian. So glad you guys can join us. Woodward Sports.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Morning, Art. Morning, D-Mac.
You know, I'm a big believer in windows of opportunity in the National Football League. I really am. And I think there's a window. And, you know, some teams don't need a window. I mean, the Steelers always seem to be in it. The Patriots always seem to be in it. Let's see if that's the case now. But, guys, I don't know about you. I think the Titans' window of opportunity is about like this right now. And that's why I love the move that they made. I going and getting Jones with that quarterback, with that running back, with that team right now. Terry, I'll start with you. Look out. That's going to be a fun thing to watch down in Tennessee.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, you know, in this town, we talk about getting that one. Everybody still wants to get that one piece for this team here. You can't do that.
Nope.
When you're in position like the Titans, when you're in position like Green Bay, when you're in position like other teams, you can get that one piece. And Julio Jones, or as my wife calls him, Julio. I'm like, she said, "Who's Julio Jones?"
Orange
Like,
Julius.
so I don't know who that is. But anyway, you can make that one piece. And it's kind of like the Rams. They went and got Matt Stafford. And yeah, did the Lions take advantage of it? Yes, but that's what you do. At some point, maybe the Lions are going to be able to make a bad move, quote unquote, to get that one piece that you think is going to put you over the top.
Yeah.
That's what the Titans
Well,
did.
Braylon, it's interesting because, you know, it's not quite the running back position where, I mean, let's face it, people are ready to put running backs in the grave by the time they hit 28, 29.
Todd Gurley's 26.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? I mean, it's just. But
27.
What do you think when you watch a guy? All Jones has done is produce, okay, and
Silently
yes,
silently at the same time.
what do you think when people? He's a little old and everything. I don't know what they're watching because it sure looks like there's a hell of a lot of tread on that tire to me.
At the end of the day, somebody told somebody a long time ago what an age was an O at that position. It's like if a running back's 28 years old, if a wide receiver's 32, 33 years old. Julio Jones is a monster. Produces at a high level every year. High level every year. It's not Julio Jones' fault that Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons and their 45 offensive coordinators didn't know how to get him the ball in the red zone. He's 6'5". He's one of the most physical wide receivers ever. They all of a sudden didn't know how to get him the ball once they got 20 in there. That's not his fault. I think he's in still prime shape for himself. I think mixed with AB, now he doesn't have to just be the one. They can be 1A, 1B, 1B, 1A. You have a running back that rushed for 2,000 yards with 8 in the box. Now you have a wide receiver that can take on the number one DB, mixed in what AB is doing, the new AB. This team is going to be a problem. I think that the defense still isn't where it needs to be, so I think that still have some concerns on that side of the ball, especially getting to the quarterback. But Julio allows them to move the chains more, which allows the defense to say, you know, we don't have to do as much throughout the course of the game. So I think it doesn't put them in the Super Bowl, but it definitely puts them comfortably, continuously in the semifinals. And to your point, their window is 2 years. Mm-hmm. That window is 2 years.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, too? Derrick Henry. I think I've told you this, Terry. Braylon, I'll tell you this. I was watching a game with former Lion Ron Rice, maybe 12, 13 years ago.
My big brother.
And, you know, yeah, Eastern guy. You were out at Michigan. And we were watching Marion Barber. And I used to love to watch Marion Barber run. He just ran angry.
I hated playing them.
Yeah, right. He
ran
angry. And it was funny. I was like, gosh, I love watching this guy. And Ronnie just looks at me, I mean, dead in the eye, and he goes, that guy's not going to be in the league in 2 years. I look at him, what are you talking about? Dude, and he goes, the wear and tear. He goes, that the way that he's punishing guys, but the toll it takes on the body, he said, I don't think people take that into consideration. And it was like, ding, 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 the light bulb went in my head. And it takes a lot to get it go on. But you get it when you watch a guy like Derrick Henry run. And listen, there are always exceptions to the rules because we saw Frank Gore. I mean, he continues to go. He's like a cyborg. Adrian Peterson, although he's not the same guy he was 5 years ago,
Frank doesn't take a lot of hits, though.
No,
like,
he doesn't.
If you watch how he run, he gets down. He's kind of like that Marvin Harrison receiver at running back, and I get that. If you look at Calvin Johnson, that's one of the biggest things I was mad at Detroit Lions fans. When he retired, they felt let down. They felt cheated. They felt whatever. I said, do you see all those weird throws and those awkward ways that Calvin fell? Calvin caught a lot of balls and made a lot of jumps, weirdly, awkwardly falling. Calvin's 6'5", 230. Every time you come down at 6'5", 230, it hurts. Julio Jones, if you watch him, he's not a big jump ball receiver. Even though he's a tall guy, he's catching things on the sideline. He gets out of bounds. Julio has less wear and tear on himself than Calvin did at this age. That's why I'm saying Julio will be good because he hasn't had a lot of awkward falls, just the ankle thing.
And the thing about Calvin, you look at his hands.
Matt put him in some bad spots.
Look at his hands. He had fingers going this way and that way, and they, okay, you too.
Hold that finger up. Dude.
There you go. There you go. You got to make sacrifices for the game, don't you? It's like that Sports Illustrated article with Antonio Freeman, where they were doing all the wide receivers that played for Brett Favre. All their hands look like this.
Yeah, he didn't. Brett would just put it in there. And we had a guy like that with the Lions, Andre Ware. Man, he had no touch on his
Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, Heisman Trophy, but no touch on his ball, man. He was just drilling it in there, and so I'm sure those line wide receivers have fingers all over the place too.
I got a stupid question. I'm going to ask
no such thing. That's right.
After seeing Braylon's finger, I have to ask this question because I know a lot of people are wondering it. Is it a dead finger? Does it hurt?
No.
What?
So basically, with mine, it never broke. There's a ligament right here that connects. It's like a rubber band, and that snapped off my junior year at Michigan. So it doesn't hurt, and it still bends partially, but I can't straighten it. So yeah, it's not dead, but it doesn't bend all the way.
Dude, you know what? Now my finger hurts. It's contagious, and now my finger.
Oh, I gave you COVID.
Off?
So I gave you COVID.
Yeah,
finger?
it's like COVID or something. My rubber band.
Now, when you get
snapped.
into the ring, are you going to be able to hit people with that finger, with that hand?
I'll be good, man. I still can tuck it. I still can.
Okay.
Still tight.
All right, we got to promote Braylon. Yeah, let's turn him into Jake Paul and make lots of money.
No. Then Terry be talking shit about me. No. You know what? Like you said, I'm staying in my lane. I'm right here at the microphone.
Bell versus Edwards has a good ring to it. Just saying.
Yeah, I'll be on there. Oh, that has-been Braylon Edwards getting in the ring. I'm not watching that shit. No. $50, I wouldn't pay $20.
Braylon versus Calvin. There we go. Braylon versus Calvin.
There you go.
That is the reality, and we talk to Joik about it all the time because he went through it as a running back. I mean, the average person really, truly doesn't understand what you guys go through. I mean, and how I think of so many running backs in particular where it was over.
Yeah.
Like Sean Alexander was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then it was over.
Quick too, out of nowhere.
Like that.
MVP, 25 touchdowns. Like next year it was like, wait, what did he do?
I loved watching LaDainian Tomlinson. He was, in my opinion, he was the most exciting running back post Barry. Like post Barry. We're never going to see another Barry. That's just the way it is. And I can hear my old man right now in my head going, Gale Sears. But maybe another generation will get another type of Barry. But I loved watching Tomlinson, and it was the same thing. Like when it didn't die. Like Sean Alexander was just over.
Yeah.
But it was like, what happened to this guy? And things like snapping your rubber band probably explain that.
Yeah, like certain people play the game different. I'll give you an example. Like Eddie George. Eddie George was an upright running back like Derrick Henry. He wasn't as strong as Derrick Henry and not as fast, but upright running back took a lot of punishment, especially in those Baltimore games where he and Ray Lewis, like that.
Yeah, Ray Lewis used to light his ass up.
Oh, man. Intercept the ball, take it from, punk him for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But that style of run, it doesn't last forever. Now look at somebody like Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is going to be out there for a while. Like, his style is different. He gets between the tackles. Like, he gets down. He gets it outside. He's fast as hell. Like, that style, and he plays out of the backfield. He plays wide receiver. He'll be able to play a lot longer than someone like Eddie George. There are different styles of running back, receiver, and
Terry, that's what you always say about Barry Sanders. Like go back and watch. The man didn't take hits.
No.
He didn't. And
You shoved him out of bounds. You tripped him up. You did weird things, but no one just lit his ass up.
no, they couldn't touch him.
I want to ask both of you, if you don't mind, when we come back, just to throw a curveball since we're doing a little NFL stuff. There's a lot of stuff about Dan Campbell's antics, and the lady from FS1, made the comments. And so Corey Woods has been going back and forth with her on Twitter and everything. And I want to get both of your take on this. Terry, you've covered him forever. You played in the league. Is this a clown show? Is this something that other people don't get in the whole Detroit versus everybody thing? I'll ask two guys that both have a unique perspective about that when we come back. First, I want to tell you about Northwestern Tech. Start a new career in an industry that is always essential to the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. Braylon Edwards, Terry Foster, Sean Baligian, so glad you could join us on Woodward Sports.
We are here, downtown Fenton, my favorite Bridge Street Exchange.
That's right. And you want to switch up your wardrobe this summer? It's this easy. You ready, Joey?
I'm ready.
All right, you ready? I like it. You want to do it again?
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right. Ooh, Brixton. Nice. One more time?
Yes.
Ooh, I like the hat on this one, too. You ready to do it one more time, Joey?
I'm getting tired. One last one.
All right, let's change it. Bro, where's your shirt? You need new clothes this summer. Bridge Street Exchange in Fenton. That's where you need to go. Thank you, guys.
You know what's interesting? We had this conversation the other day, and since we were talking about the NFL, I hope our producer Kennedy doesn't kill me. I just thought to myself, we got Terry Foster here, we got Braylon Edwards here, two guys that would probably have a unique perspective on it. So Dan Campbell's taken some heat from some people nationally and some people locally for some of his antics. And, just as a reminder to you guys out there and to Terry and Braylon that maybe didn't get a chance to hear my take on it, I don't have a problem with it. It's all fine and dandy. Okay, fine. But if the Lions struggle the way that many people, including yours truly, struggle in the next year or two, it's something easy for people to look at, right? We should have seen this coming. Our coach has on a racing helmet. Our coach, the things that people love about this guy now are going to be the things. I use Braylon. I use the example of Brady Hoke. It was amazing how quickly the mob turned on Brady Hoke. He doesn't even wear a headset. Well, he didn't wear a headset in that first magical year, and nobody had a fucking word to say about it.
The Sugar Bowl, right?
And so that's the way that fans are, and that's the way that things are. Terry, I heard you say this to Braylon, so I don't want to steal your thunder. I think you had a unique take on it, and some of the Dan Campbell antics.
I'm wondering if Dan Campbell is an overreaction by the Lions for hiring Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia came in here, and they told him, day one, don't try to be Bill Belichick. Don't be an ass. It's exactly what he did. He said, fuck you. I'm going to do what I want to do. So the locker room became so toxic that when the Lions were looking for a new coach, this was my comment. They don't need a guy who is an expert on X's and O's. They need a guy that's going to recharge that locker room. And so I'm wondering if Dan Campbell is that guy that they overreacted to. That he came in, during his interview, he was a clown. He was having fun with everybody. And one of the first things Sheila Ford said at the press conference is, get a load of this guy. Well, this is who he is. So what I don't know is how will athletes respond to this? The public, you get Joe Sixpack. I'll run through a wall for this guy. Now I'm wondering if Joey Washboard feels the same way, who's in that locker room. Like, okay, this guy's a little bit too crazy for me. And I talked to Joik about this, and Joik said, I guarantee you, in the locker room, he tones it down. But in the public, he can act like a clown.
I think at the end of the day, we're seeing a new culture now as it relates to coaching and people doing things a different way than the past. Like in the past, you used to old coaches, white hair, been around forever. They were under Shula or Seifert or Holmgren, etc. Like, and you used to seeing a certain type of coach. Now you're seeing a little fun, more quirky, like Dan Campbell, the stuff that he's doing. Pete Carroll is notorious. I played for Pete, notorious for having fun. Sean McVay, you see how Vrabel coaches down in Tennessee. Players like that. Like, players are, it gets them off their square. It's like, oh, it's a cooler guy. He gets us. He's more laid back. You're not afraid to mess up, or you're not afraid to be yourself. Just like, give an example, like on commentators for years, they look like Pat Summerall, like Mike, they like John Madden. They're the older guys. Now you're getting young guys like Tony Romo, who's giving you all this extra excitement. Like, it's changing the way that you're looking at things. Like, oh, that's cool. I like that. It's different. I think he's one of those guys that fits in that category. This is just something different. The hell with it. It's going to be good for the team. Like he said, he doesn't have to be an X and the old guy. And like Joik said, he tones that down in the locker room.
I want to ask you first the player perspective. You know, what would be going through your mind? You bring up such a great point. Really, there were 3 or 4 different trees. There were.
Yeah.
There was the Jimmy Johnson tree, and you're left thinking, how the hell does Norv Turner keep getting jobs? Why is somebody hiring Dave Wanstead? You know, there were
Schottenheimer.
There was the shot. There was the Walsh. There were all these trees where it just all these guys just kind of matriculated out and got jobs.
Parcells.
And somehow the Parcells
has to be done that way.
And suddenly they got a second job and sometimes a third job, and you're like, how the hell is this happening? So when I heard people talk about the Old Boys Network, there was validity there.
100%.
Let's be 100% real. How did some of these guys keep getting jobs, Terry?
Yeah, Lions, the kingpin of the Old Boys Network. When you look at their general manager, first general manager when the Ford took over was the old man's drinking buddy. Then that was Russ Thomas. Then the second guy was Russ Thomas's boy. So they hired him as the second general manager, even though they had Jerry Venisi on staff who did this tiny little thing. He put together the Chicago Bears who won the 1985 Super Bowl.
Huh.
But they bypassed him for this other guy's buddy. Then after that, why did they hire Matt Millen? They didn't hire him to win a championship. They didn't hire because he's a good guy. People like him. That's not a reason to hire somebody. That's ridiculous. But that's the Lions' mentality, which sunk them into the ground for decades upon decades upon decades. So, yeah, the NFL is an old boys network. Yeah, if you look at press conferences, just look at press conferences when they hire a new coach. We have a relationship that dates back 20 years, or they say little things like that.
What the hell does that have to do with winning?
Because it's my boy. And I know my boy is going to come through for me. That's the mentality. You got to get out of that.
Yeah.
Mark said all the ex-players are behind him, so I will just believe them over the media, just an opinion. Yeah, Mark, I don't have any issue with it. My question is this, and this is to you, and if you don't apply, then I think you know what I'm talking about. What if, and I hope you're smart enough to, the Lions are going to struggle the next 2 years. It's by design, and I'm really cool with that. For the first time in my life, this is a franchise that is admitting, without saying it, we're awful. And the way that we've conducted business our entire last 50 years has been terrible, and we're going to fix it. And it's going to take time, but we are going to fix this. And to me, I love it because it's a change from blowing smoke up everywhere. We're this close. How many times have we heard that? So to the people out there, and Mark, I don't know if you apply or not, but to the people out there that think that this is going to happen right away, and Terry, you and I have been besieged by people like that. You know, I think you guys are being too mean. They're going to win 11 teams this year and everything. Okay, what happens when, not if, when they win 5 games next year? And then the year after that, they win 6 or 7. After 2 years at the helm, he has 13 wins against, 22 losses or whatever. Are people going to feel the same way? Or are you going to start to hear some of that kind of seep in? We should have known. I mean, this has been a circus.
Sean, here's the big challenge. I have said the Lion fans are stupid, and I really believe that. But here's the challenge for them: is within that losing, they got to look and say, okay, this team is improving, or I see the end result, even where he's trying to get this team, even though I don't see it right now, because he's going to have some clownish moments. And so you can't just throw up your hands and say, okay, he's been lionized and that's the end of it. You have to see if this guy is moving slowly up a ladder to make this team better, rather than just looking at his foibles.
Yep.
Yeah, two things. I agree with what you said. It's one of those things where never been done before. Said it, got it out there. We're going to struggle for the next 2 years. That helps you prevent, Jim Schwartz in and out. Mariucci in and out. Coaches just in and out. Patricia in and out. That helps you get over that trying to fire a coach after 2 years. Two, it's one of those things where, like you said, look at what the Dolphins have done over the last 2 years. They were still losing games, but it started to change how they were losing. They were in games. They had chances to win games. They were starting to win at the end of the season. You saw it happen right before your eyes. If they can have that type of success, Dan Campbell in the line, that right there, Lions fan, that's what you want to see in the next 2 years, something like that.
If you watch this show on a regular basis, Braylon, you don't even know this. You sung to my heart, because the two teams that I look at in the NFL are the Cardinals and the Dolphins. And 2 years ago, everybody and their brother thought those two teams were going to be in the wilderness forever. And both of them missed the playoffs by that much. Best case scenario is you have something like that with the Lions. Yeah. Best case scenario. But, I like what the Lions are doing. Terry, I'll go back to something I've heard you say half a dozen. They're acting like a real professional franchise now. Brad Holmes is acting like he's running a real National Football League team right now.
Well, they did an actual national search. They actually, instead of hiring my boy or my girl, I'm going to find out who's the best person out there. Now, they may not have hit. You screw up even when you do that, but you got a better chance of being a legitimate franchise rather than this, Frank over there, that's my guy. We used to eat pizza together. We used to have bourbons together. Come on in. You're my GM. They didn't do that.
No. Great stuff. No. Now, love to get the perspective. Braylon, one last thing before we move on. What are the guys in the room saying about this? You've been a part of rooms. You've been a part of different winning teams, losing teams, everything in between. Does this stuff matter to you guys at all, or is it just, noise that's out there that is of no concern to you?
Not at all. And a lot of times, players like the perspective, like to take the stance. Let them think this. While we're really working on this, we know what we got going on. We know what we're doing. Let us be the underdog. Oh, yeah, sure. Let everybody want to play us. Like my third year in Cleveland, 2007, we won 10 games, didn't make the playoffs, which is some BS, but 10-6. Everybody always wants to play Cleveland. We had 6 Pro Bowlers that year. Same thing in the media, same old Cleveland. Who the hell is Rob Chudzinski? He's a tight end guy. Why is he the head coach? Offensive coordinator, et cetera. We knew what we had, so when they were saying that, we were like, we'll be all right. We'll try to figure some things out. We were beating teams. It went from the same old Cleveland Browns to no one wanted to play us that year. We were 8-1 at home or 7-1. So the guys in the locker room are fine. They know what they have, and they don't mind being an underdog. Hey, let them think we're the same old Detroit Lions. But when we get inside Ford Field or when we get to wherever we're playing at, we're going to bust somebody's ass or we're going to hit them in the mouth. We may lose, but they're going to know you've been in a dogfight at the end of the game.
You remember that touchdown?
That's my first touchdown ever. Yeah. 80 yards, man, at Lambeau.
Trent Dilfer throwing to you?
Oh, man, don't get me started. My quarterback history isn't the best. My quarterback history isn't the best. He's a super smart guy, but whatever.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, listen, we're going to talk some NBA playoffs, some Stanley Cup playoffs as well. It's been outstanding. First, we're going to have one of those society kind of topics right now. Man. What the hell happened to people? Like, seriously, what happened to people? Is it the lockdown? Is it social media today?
45.
If you don't know what we're talking about, we'll get into it next right here on Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
All right, so in case you missed it, over the weekend, Detroit police were assaulted, 13 guns confiscated. There was a brawl down in Greektown. Kennedy, you made me aware of this. Mexican national team match halted after a homophobic chant started in the crowd. And I mean, where do we start? Look at this as, hey, all right, yay. Let's attack each other and then attack the cops. And this is boy, aren't we having fun? It's a good night out on the town, huh? Boy, that's going to make me want to go hang out over there.
Greektown has a brawl every year, though.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be Monroe Street. Always on Monroe. Got to quarantine these guys again, man. Put everybody back in their houses. people have gone apeshit.
Brother, let me tell you something. I'm flying this weekend. I'm fucking petrified because they're clowning on planes. This dude tried to get into the cockpit, saying, said turn this flight around. They wrestled him, had to put him in not handcuffs with the little zip ties to get him to the back of the plane. And people fighting over masks.
Like the guy did, the flight attendant did.
Yeah, and they got on you ever see those crocodile shows? They got on him like the crocodile and grabbed his face. I mean, it's nuts. Yeah. Everywhere is nuts.
Why is that?
I can't get that image out of my head now. Like of the crocodile, right?
No, they put tape on.
Thank God he didn't go into the death roll. Nobody needs a death roll, right?
The death roll, you're done.
Yeah, who do we go to first? Let's go to Fish. Fish, what's up?
Go to Art. Art has his hand up.
Okay, Arthur?
Yeah, the DPD has issued a statement saying that they've been stepping up the presence in downtown area to help curb illegal activity and nuisance conduct. 13 firearms were confiscated last night as part of this effort. The DPD will be meeting with business owners, ensuring that they are complying with noise capacity and other operational requirements. Braylon brought it up, though. It's that location. It's Monroe Street. Like, it's anything goes. When we were out there covering the draft, there was a fight that was going on. Like, just in the middle of the night. And it's just like, it's that area. It's so busy that you can try and control noise complaints or ordinances. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Everybody knows that's the hangout spot in downtown Detroit.
Bars, restaurants, little underground spots to stay open late. Yep. The casino, people mad as hell they lost their money. It's another thing, too, is this is very interesting to see. After the state passed the rule that Michigan bars and clubs and associations can stay open until 4 now, who the hell wants to see Detroit stay open until 4? This is going to be the result. I don't want to go out after 2 o'clock.
You'll never see me at 4 o'clock, even without these bras.
My old man, retired police officer, you got it. That's right.
Nothing after 12.
One time I came home at 5 a.m. and I thought I snuck in, and I kid you not, I heard him get up, and I just immediately started to say the Hail Mary, because that was the end of my life. Like, literally. Right. And he did something far worse than beating the shit out of me. He looked at me dead in the eye, and he goes, I thought you were smarter than that.
That hurt. That one hurt.
And I'm like, Dad, just hit me. Just knock me.
I let him down.
And he said he goes, son, one day you're going to learn this. He goes, ain't nothing good happens after midnight.
No.
And you know what? To this day, I have a 21-year-old son who lives near Wrigleyville, and I go, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to pass on the same knowledge that was passed on to me. Ain't nothing good happens after midnight.
But you know what happens? I got to be a man. That's what happens in these brawls and everything. I'm tougher than you. I'll beat your ass, even though I might be 90 pounds overweight and bald and haven't had a fight in 80 years. I'm a man. So that's how these fights start.
It's not to mention there's a lot of liquid courage going on.
No,
what's in that cup? It's not water. And you mix that in, and people just stay out, and it's.
What's up, Fish?
So the game Kennedy was talking about, USA versus Mexico, that's like a soccer thing, the anti-racism things. That's nothing new.
Yeah, I know in correct me if I'm wrong, Fish, in Latin America it's the homophobic chants, and in certain parts of Europe it's the racial chants, right? I guess they think it's cute and funny. I don't know.
Yeah, mostly Eastern Europe.
Yeah, Eastern Europe. I don't know. Everybody got meaner. Am I being a wuss? Can you If I'm being a wolf, yell at me. Something happened. Everybody got meaner.
Why do we have to mess with other people?
I don't get it.
They're not bothering me.
Yeah.
I'm going about my life. I'm going to a bar. I'm going to a restaurant, whatever. You're not bothering me, but I'm going to talk about you racially.
I think people got in trouble some time back for being a bad person. Like you had parents that raised you a certain way. You had people in your neighborhoods, people in the community centers, people in the high schools, college, etc. Were raised different, were raised better, and we passed those values on. Now you have TV, social media, and things like that raising these kids. Like raising them, and now you have kids raising kids, and now you have, I can say what I want and get away with it. I can do what I want. Now you're promoting that, and you're seeing it goes back to what we were talking about. Why the hell are we talking about Jake Paul and Logan Paul? It's the same thing. People are mean because it's like, you know what? Fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to tuck it anymore. I don't have to act like a good person. You know what? I don't believe in this. I don't believe in that. And then you're seeing it. It's getting worse and worse. Nowhere near better.
And you know what people are angry about? "Quote unquote" political correctness. Now, here's what I say about political correctness. It means now people have rights. You could call people all kinds of names. You could do things to people, and they just, back in the day, they just had to take it. Now it's like, I don't have to take this shit from you. So then people are like, oh my God, it's political correctness. No, you're gonna treat me like I want to be treated.
Yeah.
And so that is another thing that's happening with today's society. I don't have to take your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I blame Twitter for everything that
then you
ails
go to
the world.
social
I
media
really
and
do.
cancel everyone.
Yeah,
cancel culture. Oh my God.
I seriously, I blame Twitter for everything. I'm wrong, but I literally blame Twitter for everything. The proliferation of this, the proliferation of that. But it's funny. I've always felt for athletes, but Terry, I think even guys like you and I, you're on the radio, you're on TV, and people get. I can't believe you said that about Michigan. You're sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Although he and I have kind of felt the same way about Michigan for a long time, but we won't go there today. We'll save that for another conversation. But it's funny, like, when you're out, some people, I'm not comparing it in any way, shape, or form. Because you guys are athletes and you're big, but people chirp at you.
Yeah.
Like people, hey, I heard what you said on the radio. You look like a tough guy on the radio. And I'm like, dude, I'm 50 years old. Yeah. I've got 2 kids. You want to fight me? Yeah. Because you didn't like what I had to say about your football coach, or like really? Is that where we're at?
People take it to heart, like they pay for the team, like they own the team, etc., or whatever you say. They own your comments. They own our platform. At the end of the day, individuals come up to you in bars, me, you. If you say something, if I say something, if they don't like somebody on the football field, because they feel as though, I know he can't do anything because he works at Woodward Sports. So he won't be able, if I push him, if I do anything, he can't do anything back because he's a personality. He plays on the football field, Aaron Donald. If I hit him, he can't do anything back because he plays for the National Football League. Like, he'll get in trouble. I got news for you guys out there. All you tough guys, it's some MFers that was raised different. Like, they're not going to let you do that anymore. Like, you can't just, because you feel a certain way. Like, throwing water bottles at Kyrie. Like, if that would have hit Kyrie, he would have had every right to go in there and beat the shit out of that fan. And now you're starting to see that would have been accepted. NBA would have let it rock. So, you got newsflash. You guys better come with it.
And these people want to play by 2 sets of rules. From my experiences, I've had people come up and call me MFs and all kinds of names and everything. And here's my philosophy in life. You treat me nice, I'm going to treat you nice. If you throw missiles at me, I'm throwing them back.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is the first thing I hear. When somebody calls me a motherfucker and I go back at them, no, you can't do that. Well, why?
Why not?
Because you're
human, I'm human.
Right, you just did this as well. You're not supposed to do that.
Arthur,
how much of it is that we've been locked up for a year? Like, we're talking about having another lockdown or not. Like, I would hate to see that. But at the same time, like, it's happening at all the games. It's happening at Greektown, which it happening at Greektown isn't, like, shocking. Like, True. That happens at least once a week to where there's, some sort of police confrontation. But, like, when you look at what's happening in the NBA or even at the UFC fights where people are punching each other outside of the octagon, what do you do?
We've been on, in my opinion, I'll start first. We've been on a low boil for a while, And then I think once Donald Trump became president, we turned up the heat. That's just my personal opinion. I think we've been on a low boil for a while. And once the heat got turned up, you've heard me say this once. You heard me say it 1,000 times on the show, Art. But if Terry and Braylon haven't heard it, I'll give it to them. We're at a point in society right now where we can't look at something that is plain on the nose of your face and agree as to what it is. We can't do it anymore. Yeah. We can't.
A lot of that
We're
too.
so divided. It's you can't watch a bunch of maniacs storm the Capitol and go, wow, that's really bad. That's horrible. That's criminal activity. Well, some people out there are going, they're patriots. Huh?
Patriots my ass.
No, you're a criminal.
Yeah,
knock it off.
Piggybacking off what you said, Art, one thing is how many people didn't get a chance to show their ass when Trump lost the election because we were on a lockdown. So all those people were holding that in for a whole year. Now they can get that shit out. And then two, it's just good people and there's bad people. Because at the end of the day,
agreed.
I went out last night to CJ Mahoney's to watch the fight. Shout out to Brandon. Thank you for the great time. I was ecstatic to be out. The group that I was with, we were happy to be out, man. It was just a really good time. It was good to see people. There was no mask. Most everybody was vaccinated. I don't care if you're out or not. I am. It is what it is. It was a good time. It was a good feel. We didn't have to go out and fight anybody or throw slurs out there or show my ass. Good people and bad people.
Terry, when I was younger, I'll never forget this. This stuck with me for life, and I actually told him this before he passed away. Kirk Gibson was a surly young man, as
Michigan
you well
State.
know. And Sparky Anderson told him, and I heard this, I must have been 12 years old at the time. Sparky Anderson told him, and it stuck with Gibby, the easiest thing in the world is to be nice. Like, it takes no effort.
Right,
and honest to goodness, that has been... Now, does that mean I've been nice at every point in my life? No. There are things that I regret not that long ago. But those words ring true. It takes much more effort to be an asshole. Yeah. It just does. And I don't get it. Be nice to people.
Right. During the height of Kirk Gibson's assholishness, he gave me the best brush off an athlete ever gave me before. What happened was he got sent down to Toledo, and in Toledo you got to walk through the fans to get to the field. So everybody's asking for autographs from Kirk Gibson, and he didn't want to sign. So I wrote a column, like every step Kirk Gibson took, he lost another fan because of his refusal to sign. So then when he came back to Detroit, I wanted to talk to him, and he said, I read your column in Toledo, and he just said that I'm not going to talk to you for a while. Wasn't an ass to me, didn't cuss me out, didn't threaten me or anything, but very polite. And he just said, I had to respect that. I'm like, all right, cool. And then one day, like, it was probably a month later, he said, hey, I forgive you for that thing. We can talk now.
He put you on probation.
Yeah, I was on probation, and I was fine with that.
He said, I forgive you for it. Like, at the end of the day, what are you actually forgiving me for? At the end of the day, I put what you did, but he was polite, though.
But...
No.
Even though you put what somebody says, they have a different view of it, and I understand that.
That's true.
I think Kirk would also be the first guy to say that he was kind of a jerk when he was younger, too.
He was.
You grow up. Isn't that part of the process? I don't know about you. I hope that people don't hold things against me that happened 20 years ago. I did dumb things.
Young,
what do you want me to say? I did dumb things.
Young, you have to grow in the process. What are the people around you at that time? Like, do you have certain vets that are helping you get to that growth faster?
Yep.
Do you not have those certain type of vets, so now it takes you longer to get in that process? Yeah, it's a real thing.
Yep.
It's a real thing. I've been on teams with great vets. I've been on teams with not so great vets, and you act differently,
No doubt about it. Hey, with baseball in full swing, NBA Stanley Cup playoffs are to a fantastic start. You can make each and every series matter by having a stake in the game at mybookie.ag. Now, regardless of whether you're betting favorites or underdogs, prop bets, or just looking to make a little cash, MyBookie gives you tons of options to make all your favorite matches a heck of a lot more exciting. If you're looking to bet for the first time but don't know exactly what to bet on, they are there to help point you in the right direction. We're going to be talking NBA playoffs next. Some outstanding games. The Clippers finally got over the hump. how far are they going to go? Yeah, you can bet on things like that. That's the beauty of it. But you have to take the initiative. Go to mybookie.ag, sign up now, use promo code Woodward to get your first deposit match halfway up to $1,000. Let them know that we sent you, and you need to use the promo code Woodward to get that free deposit bonus and start your day off with a W. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Terry Foster, Braylon Edwards, Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey, what is up? You know, I say this all the time, but this time of year, there's so much going on. It's like you're at the buffet right now, and you can only put so much on your plate. Full disclosure, I haven't been able to watch as much NBA playoffs because, well, I've been watching every hockey game that exists. And the
also hasn't been that good, though. So,
yeah, well, you know, it's funny. I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah,
really? What?
It just was, one, you know who's going to win.
Yeah.
Two, it's boring. It was boring in the beginning. Like it's picked up a little bit. I don't want to discredit what Trae Young and Ben Simmons did last night. I don't want to discredit what Paul George and Kawhi were able to do and closing out Game 7. But it was just kind of boring, and it was predictable, and it's my hamstring, and it's, oh, here's a flop, and here's this, and it's just been boring. So
LeBron's done now, so you don't have to worry about as many flops. But you look at Luka Doncic, what he did during that whole series. Not a fast guy. When you just see him, he's more powerful than I thought he was. He's got what I call the white boy wiggle.
Damn, Porzingis, can you get one rebound?
Yeah, Porzingis, man, I don't know what happened to him after he left New York, man. He's just been...
If Porzingis averages what he should average, which is right around 20 points, 19 points, 12 rebounds, they will beat the Clippers. They would have closed out on the Clippers. Porzingis had 7 points twice. How the hell you have 7 points, Porzingis? You're 7 feet too. You can get more than 7 points.
Hawks knock off the 76ers in Game 1, 128-124. Art just had the highlights there. And in case you missed it, the Clippers finally get over the hump. They knock off the Mavs 126-111. You know, it's funny because, Terry, I know you were talking about this last week as well. Braylon, one of the points that Terry made, Terry, you've kind of been more on the Stanley Cup playoffs have been exciting this year bandwagon, right?
Well, you know, it started out with a bang with all the overtime games, and it's starting to settle down a little bit, but, you know, still a lot of excitement there.
Are the Clippers like a cursed franchise? And we are allowed to talk about cursed franchises. Art always yells at me when I lean. Because sometimes I just like have a conversation, I forget we're on camera, and I do this. So Art's in the background going like this, and I'm like, okay, Art, sorry about that. Right. But I want everybody to know that Art's actually working down there. But, I mean, the Clips... Well, I'm not being a dick, am I?
Yeah.
All right. No, it's
You want to go? You want to go?
No, hell no.
Yeah.
Art's one of those MMA guys. Look at him.
Sneaky.
Like that. Yeah, right?
Sneaky.
He's like that wiry guy. I don't want to mess with the wiry guy.
And not afraid to throw a low blow, too.
No, he isn't.
Funny MMA bar story. This happened maybe like my 3rd year in the league. And this is when MMA really was kind of starting to really gain traction. We were at a bar, just having some drinks, and I saw 2 guys like poking fun at this shorter gentleman. I don't even know what the hell it was about. So the big guy tried to be tough with the guy, and he didn't know that he was an MMA guy. Like rolled him up like a pretzel and broke his arm at the bar. I was like, I learned in that moment, man, you better stop messing with these people at the bar because they know more than you think. They know more than you think. It was an MMA guy, and the guy didn't know it. The MMA stuff, it'll get you.
It's real. It's absolutely real. Are the Clippers cursed? I mean, they've lived in the shadow of the Lakers for so long. How would you explain? Mismanaged, cursed?
Cursed. Like, I refuse to say the Lions are cursed. Clippers, for many years, were, you know, run by an asshole owner. And so
what a gem of a guy that man was.
They're getting what they deserve. I mean, they've emerged from that. So, and and they had bad leadership with Elgin Baylor. And so I wouldn't say they were cursed. I think they had to unearth themselves from a black cloud. And that's a black cloud of incompetence.
But they went to like 4 Western Conference Finals with that asshole as an owner. And they just couldn't get over the hump. Like, they blew a 3-1, I want to say, twice. In the Western Conference Finals, twice they blew 3-1, I think, to Houston. I want to say, like, and that was with that butthole. Like, what? So, to your point, I think it's something going on. Like just some bad juju or something.
They've had so many good players come through there. Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing. You know, they really have. And it just, I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like being out in L.A., like you're already on the back page as it is, right? You're right, but every couple of years you think, all right, remember about 10 years ago it was like, oh, the Clippers are the team of the future, and everybody had Clipper fever out there.
Doc Rivers as the coach too. Like
Lakers go and win 5 more titles, and you know it doesn't. Oh, Kobe retires. It doesn't matter. What couple of years we'll pick up LeBron, we'll win it. And you know what? When LeBron's done and he's made his final flop, they'll go pick up somebody else and win another title. I mean, that's where that would just suck.
Maybe I don't know if this plays into it. Maybe being in the shadow of a great franchise plays into it. For instance, you can't compare Eastern Michigan football to Michigan football, but Eastern Michigan isn't even good within the MAC, except they got their new coach and they're decent now. But people always said it's too close to Michigan for Eastern to be a very good team. So I don't know if the Clippers are being in the shadow of the Lakers. Like, some people believe that Michigan and Michigan State football can't be good at the same time because they're too close to each other. And so I don't know if that plays a role in it or not.
Yeah, the difference with Eastern and Michigan and the Clippers and the Lakers is the Clippers have a ton of money and they got a ton of all-stars on their roster. Like, yeah, Eastern can't steal players from Michigan. Like, this is going to be a very interesting series for the Clippers because Utah is, the favorite in the West. They're very good. They play great team ball. Like, they remind me of the Utah Bowl. The Clippers still have enough weapons to win. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. If the Clippers win this, I think they will win it all.
Terry, you brought up something, and I have to rewind a little bit. And Braylon, you might be aware of this. So when I was out in Ypsi, you guys might remember they had a Thursday night game against Temple. It was the first time that 2 black head coaches went against each other. In 93. Okay. Thursday night game, national television, ESPN at Rynearson Stadium.
Charlie Batch?
Who would have thought it, right? Yeah, Charlie was there. He would have been, let's see, Charlie.
Freshman, sophomore?
That would have been a sophomore? I don't remember, whatever. Who would have thought that would ever happen? In typical Eastern Michigan fashion, it was like a Category 9 storm that day. Forget Category 5. I mean, it was it absolutely poured. And we were all fired up. My boys and I was the S for ESPN. We were out our door for 2 minutes and it was gone.
Oh, wow.
It was one of those things where, like, you could see people all around campus. You start to make your way over to Rynearson and you're like, hell with this. Why am I doing this? It was an absolute downpour. It was Ron Cooper and, gosh, for the life of me, I can't remember who the coach at Temple was at the time. But it was the first time 2 African-American coaches were going at one another.
Maybe Eastern is jinxed.
Yeah, and that's what. So when you said that, that we were all convinced. It was like, of course.
It's like Cleveland.
It has to happen that way. We're national television. Everybody gets to see Eastern. We're excited about this young quarterback named Charlie Batch. And it's this monsoon, and nobody gets a chance to see it because, I mean, it was insane. So it's funny you say that because we were all convinced going, well, yeah, we're cursed, so of course nothing good can happen here. Arthur.
Brooklyn Nets and obviously Milwaukee. Brooklyn's up. I wanted to ask Braylon and the crew here, how much does James Harden's injury impact the team? They obviously won the game, which is great.
Right.
But, you could see the injury here and then him walking off. Do you think Harden being out impacts the team greatly, or you think they'll still go all the way?
So here's my thoughts on that. Blake Griffin stepped up amazingly, and that helped him out a lot. If he can keep that going, I think they will be Brooklyn. I think there will be Milwaukee without James Harden if Blake can keep that up in 6. The problem lies here. James Harden is the most important person on that team because not only can he score, he's the facilitator. He knows how to get guys in rhythm. He knows how to get guys going. Kyrie struggles with that. Kyrie is just a scorer. He'll have 10 assists every blue moon, but he's more like a low assist guy, like 4, 5. He struggles with that, and KD isn't as aggressive in these type of situations. Remember when he was in OKC, when Harden was gone and he was the guy, you saw Russell having those 40-point games against the Heat in the finals. You saw Russell being the guy to step up. This isn't his thing, so I think it will affect them. But they're so deep, they still can make it to the finals, and they still can win without Harden. It'll just be harder. They're the Avengers with James Harden. Without James Harden, they're like, yeah, they're still good. They're still good.
All right, listen, when we come back, we'll talk a little Stanley Cup playoff. Terry Foster, Braylon Edwards in the house. Want to tell you about our friends at 8 Mile Vodka. Born in Detroit, it's distilled in single 90-liter batches to allow for optimal quality control and care. Then carbon filtered, aerated, and bottled at the perfect time to produce a subtle taste with a smooth finish and a character all its own. It is an exceptional premium vodka, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again. My next-door neighbor's one of the owners, great guy. He put his heart and soul into this. It can be chilled, enjoyed straight, or mixed to create an exceptional cocktail. Try the Moscow Mule. Next time you're out, ask your bartender for an 8 Mile Vodka or pick up a bottle at Meijer. And as always, drink responsibly. So glad you could join us on a Monday morning. T. Foss, Braylon Edwards, Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, I'm D-Mac.
Hey guys, I'm Pilar.
That was a little slow.
Right.
Hi, I'm D-Mac.
I wasn't ready. I was doing this.
Hi, I'm D-Mac.
Hey, I'm Pilar.
I'm Maz. You're lit. Hi, I'm D-Mac.
I'm Pilar.
I'm Maz. We suck.
You suck.
Catch us Monday to Friday, 3 to 5.
Every day right here on The Hook.
On Woodward Sports Network.
All right, welcome back in. So glad you can join us. You hear this conversation all the time. What is the best time of year of sports? It's pretty hard to argue with this time of year. The only thing missing is football. Yeah. I'm a big fan of like that week in October when you have college football kind of heading into the conference
World
slate,
Series.
And you have the World Series, and you have the NHL starting, and you have the NFL being the NFL, which is the king. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. The NFL's king. That's a great time of year, but I'll tell you what, Terry, every night to have some meaningful hockey on. Last night were kind of two, blowouts. There's no other way to say it. It's been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. It really has been.
Yeah, nights like that happen.
Yeah.
But, the great thing about playoff hockey is somebody's got to go home. So you're playing for your life. The fall, I love the fall because of football and everything, but when your team loses, they're going to play next week.
Yeah.
And they're usually still in it. But right now, there's the finality of that's why I like playoff anything. Playoff particularly Winks because, if you don't perform, you're gone.
I've heard a lot of people say that they don't like the Vegas Knights, and I think it's because their fans are so look at them, they're just slappy fans. There's no other way to say it. And
are those fans from Las Vegas?
And that's a good question. Are they actually from Las Vegas? And of course they got a welcome to the NHL gift package that I wish the NHL could take back. They gave them too much. I don't care what anybody. I think they're great for the National Hockey League. I really do. I think the Vegas Knights are great for the National Hockey League. It's in a non-traditional hockey market that has an incredible buzz. They're an incredibly competitive team. I think a lot of people, yours truly included, thought, all right, the Colorado Avalanche are going to run away and hide from them. And they came back, and in particular last night, beat Colorado at their own game. Guys, I was always of the opinion somebody was going to break the Vegas seal. Somebody was going to do it. And I had a feeling it would be the NHL, and it was, and now the Raiders are there. I don't know what you get. I think it's great it's out there. I really do. I think it's a great, great story that we have professional sports out in Vegas.
It shows that we've evolved as a society because for many years, you can't have a team in Vegas because of the gambling thing. Well, sure, you can gamble anywhere. I can gamble in my basement. That was,
You can
to
gamble
me,
right there.
Right. That was the dumbest argument for not having teams out there. So now we've broken another seal, and it's an evolution of our society. Yes, you can play football in Vegas. Yes, you can play NHL. Actually, I thought the NBA would be the first to break that seal.
Did you?
Yeah, because they were talking about the NBA had talked about
Pete Rose might have
gambling.
struggled in Vegas.
He may have.
Pete Rose might have struggled.
May not have won him as manager for the Las Vegas Aces or whatever
Right.
that baseball team would have been if they had one out there. But other than that,
I like Vegas. Yeah, I like what they're doing. It's a fun town, obviously, and that goes without saying. Duh, it's Vegas. What happens in Vegas? You got a lot of the people that come in to visit Vegas. They can now take in a football game. You see the VIP setups that they have in the back of the end zone now. It's crazy. You got the Aces, as you just said. They're a great basketball team. They come in and they have success. The fans, the Knights, great fans. Unorthodox, great fans. The team has had a lot of success by way of the NHL, like you said, in the gift package. But they're just becoming a good sports town. Now we got to see what the hell the Raiders are going to do.
Yeah. You know what cracks me up? I mean, I think you guys know this. Hockey fans are very snobby. We are. We're very snobby. And I think you have a situation where this young team has a bunch of fans that, like Terry said, most of them probably aren't even there, and most of them have no idea what's going on.
Right.
Yay, somebody put that black ball into the net.
Mm-mm.
You know, I mean, like, seriously, it's stuff like that. You're growing it in a non-traditional hockey market. You know, and that's one thing that I've always been is a guy that loves the sport. You're either going to like it or you're not. I'm never going to convince you to like it. I'm never, you know, like, hey, Braylon, can I take you to a hockey game? I think we are built with preconceived notions. You know, you're just, like, I always use this. Race car driving, NASCAR. No offense to the NASCAR fans out there. I'm not going to enjoy it, ever.
Yeah.
I'm telling you point blank. And it's like, well, you need to go to a race. Okay, that's not going to happen
You don't
either.
want to take your shirt off and drink beer
No,
all day?
I'm sorry.
In 100-degree heat?
I am 100% guilty of my preconceived notions. And besides, I have pale white skin, and I don't want third-degree burns because I've been at the track all day. But, I mean, you understand. So I think a lot of times people have the preconceived notion. So to go into a non-traditional market and have this kind of success that they have, I wish people would kind of put aside their snobbery and go, isn't that good for the game?
Yeah.
But you have to understand, it's not a Vegas thing. It's like they didn't pay their dues.
Yeah.
When you're an expansion team, you're supposed to win 10 games and, you know, be last in your division. They went to the Stanley Cup Finals. So that's why people are pissed at them. So wait a minute. They surpassed my team who hasn't been to the Stanley Cup Finals ever. I'm pissed about that.
Yeah.
We've got a video. Someone sent in a video, and I don't know who this guy is, but it's something to do with the Canadian. I'm just gonna
Speaking of him, hey, I saw him at the game yesterday.
Oh, yep. Let's get to that in a second. All right, we're gonna play this.
Oh, Winnipeg Jetliner, going to get swept away. Oh,
Montreal
Winnipeg
Canadian
Jetliner,
luchador.
cause the Habs, they came to play. Dun, 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 dun. Oh,
That's him walking out of the stadium.
You gotta love it.
To the people out there that think that's me, you're right, Fish. He was at the game yesterday, and I was not in Montreal yesterday.
Hockey
so
has I thought that was you.
That
That's
is
not you?
That is not me. I
You
don't
sure?
know who I don't
Prove
know who
it.
that guy is. He shows up at my house every now and again, but I have no idea who that guy is. That's unbelievable what's happening because if this was a regular year, Montreal has now won 6 straight. They came back against the Leafs. They were down 3-1. And I think everybody thought the Jets were a prohibitive favorite as well. And they're smoking the Jets right now. And I think the crazy thing about it is the last month of the season, they were so bad. If this was a regular season, they don't make the playoffs. But the way that the league is configured this year with the North Division itself, what they did is they did 1 through 4 in each division. Where in years gone past, they do 1 through 8, and they don't make the playoffs. And it is getting hot at the right time. It is their goalie, who has been the best goalie of his generation, all of a sudden remembering that he was the best goalie of his generation. He hasn't played like this in a couple years. It's an amazing story, and I think it also reminds people of, and this is where Lion fans have hope or Browns fans have hope. Hey, man, just get in. Let's see what happens. Now, do you expect them to keep going like this? Of course you don't. But who thought they'd be playing right now?
Hockey seems to have a couple of these moments every year, like a couple of years or so. Because this is very similar to when the Blues won it all. Blues sucked.
Great example.
The Blues sucked.
Great
and then
example.
Once they met the young lady, the young girl that became like their best friend and part of the team, they rolled through the rest of the season and won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Edmonton used to do that. After Gretzky, they had some teams that were awful, and I forget who the goalie was, but you couldn't put the puck in the net, so they would get dominated the whole game and win 3-2.
Yeah, Ranford, the year they won the cup,
yeah,
in
that
90,
was
Bill
him.
Ranford. He
Right.
was disgusting. Braylon, you brought this up in case people don't remember this. The St. Louis Blues were literally the worst team in hockey on January 1st. Literally, not figuratively, literally the worst team in hockey on January 1st. Less than 5 months later, they were holding the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
you can't. It is. It's a weird thing, and what happens with young players, and I think we had an up close and personal look at this, is young players, boys become men during the Stanley Cup playoffs, and we saw it with the Red Wings. There's you have to take your lumps and everything. Two of their best players, Montreal's best player, happened to be combined age of 41. A 21-year-old and a 20-year-old, and they just every night they keep producing. And somebody forgot to tell them, "Wait a second, you're young. You're not supposed to be doing this right now." Yeah, fun times. All right, when we come back, talk a little bit about the Tigers. Terry, I like what you said a few weeks ago. They're a different level of bad now. They've gone from unwatchable to, okay, they're bad, but at least I can watch them a little bit. It's been a while since we talked about the Tigers. We'll get Braylon's thoughts. Terry Foster in the house. So glad you can join us. It's Woodward Sports on a Monday afternoon. Check us out when we come back. Boy, Braylon, you're doing it again. Somewhere, where are you, Maz? Where are you hiding, Maz? Tom Mazaway and I were working together years ago. Braylon was saying during the break, I wish that we would have started this back in 2014. And it was, sorry, Art, it was over in 2014. Yeah. It was, like, to me, everybody talks about the World Series losses in 06 and 11. 2013 was the team that they should have done it. They didn't. 2014 was just, okay, this is our last run, but we don't have any gas left.
No relief pitching.
Yeah, no relief pitching.
But don't you think
gas.
there's an arrogance in sports where I can, if you're mostly in the front office, I can squeeze another 2 or 3 years out of this.
100% right.
I'm good at my job. Don't give up yet. I put a couple pieces together. And what you usually do is you find some 37-year-old guy that used to be able to play, and you put him in the lineup, and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Isn't that because in sports you're taught every time I walk on the field or the court, I'm the best person there. In the front office, that mentality goes there. Well, I know it looks like we're done, but we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. But Braylon, to your point, Maz and I used to go through this for 2 years. I would say, Maz, it's over.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Did you see who Al signed? Just wait. We're going to make the playoffs. We got one last run. And, well, we know how that worked out. And yet, conversely, there are also people that say Al wasn't allowed to spend money. That's a conversation for a different day. But, no, I agree with you. I wish they would have said in 2014, this was a heck of a run. Let's unplug this and start our rebuild then. Who knows what would have been today? But if Al was running
for Verlander back then, what could you bring David Cone and you get rid of David Cone?
It's right now, and it's funny because somebody, can you put up that quote from Art that you had up just a minute ago? Because this is what the Tigers are only 12 games out A couple of hot streaks, and they're right in contention for a wild card.
Stop it.
People believe that. people believe that.
Games
only
is
12
a
games out.
long
What
way.
is this, Major League? It's only 12 games out.
And conversely, they're only what, 3 teams with a worse record than the Tigers in the majors? I mean that's where we're at right now.
gotta
And
love fans.
I think unfortunately what this franchise has done in recent years is because they can't tell you what they got for Justin Verlander or JD Martinez, and because they can't show you what all these young can't-miss prospects are doing, other than Casey Mize, who, in my opinion, we're not talking enough about Casey Mize. Really, I'm serious. Casey Mize is pitching so well right now for a shit team. I mean, tip of the cap to Casey Mize, and he's one of the young, exciting players that has to make it. So you know what we do? We talk about the invisible. And that's what this franchise has done for a long time. It talks about the invisible. It talks about the next guy. Wait till you see this Braylon Edwards guy. Oh, my gosh. He is just lighting up Erie. And then you're like, well, I can't go see him in Erie, so I'll look up the numbers. Good gosh, you're excited about a guy that's hitting 238 and can't get on base?
Right, yeah.
But that's where we're at right now. And if you look at it, when the Tigers are having success, it's those guys that you talked about, Terry.
Yeah, but that 238 hitter is spraying the ball.
Yeah.
He's just getting bad luck.
It's
Like
like
you can see him play.
It's Jonathan Scope, who's hitting a couple of home runs. Well, he isn't a piece of the future.
No.
He's a guy that's good for right now, the next couple of years. But when the Tigers hope to be good, this isn't the type of guy that you expect to be here. So I think that's where we're at right now. And the Tigers have been selling hope for so long that people like Mr. Ford or whatever his name was, well, we're only 12 back. Well, because he's been sold hope. And that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, but you have to understand, if you're not in Detroit and you look at any team that's 12 back at this point, you don't even talk about them.
No.
You don't talk about a comeback. You don't talk about the possibilities. But only here, because that's my team, and I think they can get hot.
Is that the state of Michigan? And I bring this up because of this question. And this isn't a diss or anything, so people listen, be cool. Like, is this like University of Michigan? It's very similar.
I think you're talking to the right guy, but go on.
Like it's like, oh, well, they're 8-5. They're right there. They're only 5 games away. If we get a quarterback, we're right there. Michigan sells the hope. Like, just like the Tigers sell the hope. Sometimes fans, Tigers fans, Lions fans, Michigan fans, Spartans fans, sometimes you have to be honest with yourself, assess your team for what they've done, and then be honest. Just like the Tigers fans, no, they're not coming back from 12. They're not going to do it. No, they're not going to magically win 5 games with the same quarterback they had, same quarterback controversy that they had last year. Got to be honest with yourself.
What team in the state of Michigan sells more hope than any other?
I think we just talked about it.
I think it's Michigan football. I think something's happened. I think since Braylon's time, okay, when they were winning things, since Braylon's time. By the way, the last time Michigan was Big Ten champion, I mean, we're guys, this is 17 years ago now. It's crazy.
You don't have to tell me.
I think it's Michigan football. The next guy. Wait till, how many times have you heard this? Wait till Rich Rod gets his guys.
Right.
Wait till Brady Hoke gets his guys.
And didn't let Rich Rod get his guys.
And
didn't let Brady get his guys.
And Jim Harbaugh, wait till he gets his guys. And it doesn't matter. He can bring in any quarterback and just whisper to him, shh, they're there. And they're going to turn into a great draft pick and everything. So my personal opinion,
wasn't even waiting until you get your guys. As soon as he walks in here, they're going to be great.
Oh, immediately. First year. Yeah. You know what? But I don't know. It's because
Tigers are close.
The Tigers are right there. The Alavila, Terry, you and I, the Alavila mystery. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing on his resume. He hasn't made good trades. He didn't sign good free agents. I can't pat a guy on the back for finishing last and getting the number 1 overall pick. I can't. There's nothing there. And yet, people put this guy on a pedestal, and for the life of me, I don't get it. I think people are waking up.
Don't sleep on Michigan State basketball. Michigan State basketball has been selling a lot of hope.
Recent years?
They're Michigan State. They'll figure it out. No, Michigan won't beat them this year. Oh, well, they're better than Ohio State. Oh, just get them into the tournament. They've been selling hope because they've been struggling as well.
But they've won Big Ten titles, and they've made Final Fours.
Like once or twice in the last, 12 years?
No, they've done more. You're talking about, no, they've won 3 Big Ten titles in the last 5 years
Went to
before COVID.
Final Four 2019. 2019, yeah. I mean, but hey, listen, do you know what it is? Can I tell you what it is? And a lot of times people aren't mature enough to admit it. What happened 10 years ago with Michigan is they saw what Mark D'Antonio had, and they were frightened. They didn't want to admit it. They never, and I get it, because I always use the term, Braylon, world turned upside down.
Right.
That's what happened to all of us for a span of a few years. We saw Michigan State not only beat Michigan, but sometimes unmercifully. Like, and I remember the one game, I saw your tweet. I'll never forget it. I don't want to get you in trouble with your alma mater. But remember they finally scored a touchdown in 2014, and they're jumping up and down on the sidelines and everything. And you tweeted, you were like, what are we doing? We scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't what I'm accustomed to. And I think you do have to hold yourself to those old standards and the things that made Michigan. I tell my kid all the time, Michigan, I envied Michigan. How couldn't you envy Michigan living around here?
And Michigan State got into a space where Michigan lost their identity when they let go my guy, Lloyd Carr. Rest in peace to Lloyd Carr. When they let Lloyd Carr go or they parted ways, they lost their identity. They tried to figure the Rich Rod thing out. They tried to bring Brady Hoke. At that time, Penn State got in trouble with the whole Sandusky deal. Ohio State got in trouble a little bit with their probations. Now teams, some of the kids that would have gone to Penn State, some of the kids that would have gone to Michigan when Michigan had their stuff together, some of the kids that would have gone to O State, now these kids were coming to Michigan State. Michigan State caught fire at a time where the other teams in the Big Ten were kind of struggling a little bit, and they capitalized on it. It took a while to come back.
Well, and conversely, the same thing's happening in basketball right now. This is world turned up. What?
Uh-oh.
Juwan Howard's got a national power? No. Michigan State's better. Michigan, no. He's not getting. Tom Izzo will get him, right? And so it's world. So we don't know how to react. So what's the automatic response? You're a fraud, because this is what I've lived with my whole life, right?
Yeah.
I think that we're all guilty of doing that in a certain regard. And Michigan State fans are afraid of Juwan Howard and Michigan taking what has been theirs for their entire lifetime. Right?
Yeah, I have a Spartan family, and when Juwan Howard was hired, they were cracking up. Oh my God, you got to be kidding! Michigan is desperate and everything. I said, well, I'm going to disagree with you, because he was under the Pat Riley tree for 10 years.
Yeah.
As a player and as an assistant coach, he learned on. If you're telling me a guy is soaked away under Pat Riley and Juwan Howard, here's the thing people don't know about: the dude's a nerd. So he's soaking up all this stuff from Pat Riley and Spoelstra and stuff. He didn't have to coach to be good, to be great. He had to know, one, how to run a game plan, how to motivate players, how to do the Pat Riley way on the collegiate level.
Yeah.
So I think he was tailor-made. But with the Michigan State thing, people don't want to let go of the past.
You got it.
Hey, my team was good in the 60s. They're going to be good today.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. No doubt about it. A lot of that going around our state. I want to talk about Juwan Howard when we come back. His name is being brought up in certain regard with NBA jobs. Is that something that Michigan fans, is that something we should all worry? I think Juwan Howard's great for our state. I really do. Yeah. We'll talk about it when we come back. Braylon Edwards, Terry Foster, Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
You know, it was funny. We were having our Woodward Sports, what's it called, group text or whatever you kids call it. By the way, Kennedy and Fish, were you proud of me? I actually participated this weekend. Because usually I get these. We have this group text around here, Braylon, and Woodward Sports, and I just hit delete. I don't even look at it because it's just a bunch of young kids talking about things that don't concern me.
Right. So, like Jake and Logan Paul.
Yeah, I'm not reading about this. What am I doing? So we were having a conversation about some changes coming, and Juwan Howard's name has been mentioned. And it's interesting because, I mean, again, I don't care who you root for. If you can't open your eyes to see that this guy's a perfect fit in Ann Arbor, and everybody should be afraid of what might happen in Ann Arbor, it's because you don't want to see it. Right. Like for a Michigan State fan, you're becoming what you detest. You know, you are. If you're sitting back and going, I ain't scared of him. Okay, that's cute. I'll pet you.
Right.
You should be very afraid. Not only
they are. That's why they're talking.
By virtue of what he's already done, but why he's coming in. So his name has been mentioned. And here's the interesting thing, and you know, the people in the text message the other night immediately dismissed it. Immediately dismissed it. He's not leaving, he's not leaving. This is the one thing that I threw out to them, and I'll throw out to both of you guys. Pick one of the teams, the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics say, Juwan Howard, we want to hand you the keys. You are the coach of the Boston Celtics. We are going to pay you $7.5 million, which, oh, by the way, is about $5 million more per year than you're making right now.
But you have to dodge water bottles.
That's good. I'm staying in Michigan. No, but you know what I would do? Look, do I think he's going to say? Of course I do. Yeah. If I were Michigan right now, you know what I would do? I would prepare that little magical extension and raise.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Out. I agree with you. You have to do that. Protect your investment. Protect what you have. Protect your future. Juwan Howard is he's a great father, by the way. I know him and his son. I know him and his kids. He loves cultivating young men. He loves cultivating talent. What better place can you do that than at the collegiate level? He's starting to have some great success. Look at this last year he had. Coach of the Year. Now you get these young individuals who parents and them thought you had to go to Duke, you had to go to Kentucky, you had to go to those schools. Now they can go to schools where the head coach looks like them. So that adds another level to that. He's getting and recruiting kids that Michigan wouldn't have gotten in the past. I'm telling you, he's not going anywhere. Oh, not to mention he had a couple of different $100 million contracts when he played in the NBA. So he doesn't need that extra money that he would have to go coach the Celtics and figure out their culture with kids coming in and out. Kemba this year, Kyrie this year. So I think he stays in Michigan.
Yeah, I talked to the Fab Five, Jimmy King, on occasion, and he swears he's not going anywhere. This is his dream job. He loves Michigan. And the fact is, I think he's made $187 million as a player. So money is not a motivation for him developing a program. He wants Michigan to be what Michigan State was, or what Duke was, or what Kentucky was. So because he's invested, he played there. Now he's coaching there, and now his main thing is he wants to bring the Fab Five together again. He wants Jalen Rose and Chris Webber to be buddies again. He wants to have a reunion there, prior to a game. So that's his focus right now. I don't think he's going to leave. I think I got my gig.
Yeah.
That's thawing, isn't it? I mean, we're pretty close to that, like the Jalen
It's
thing.
right there.
We're
It's
C-Web.
right
It's thawing, right?
It's
I mean,
there.
isn't that the word, T? Is that
the word is thought even before the I don't take
The
it
Hall
as
of Fame deal?
Yeah, the Hall of Fame deal. That they have been trying to make this work before that. I think all five of those guys are saying, look, we are brothers, because they call each other brothers all the time. We got to work this out, or we are working this out. This is going to happen. And I think Juwan Howard, if he remains as coach, then he can, grease the skids and make it happen easier as head coach at Michigan, rather than being somewhere else trying to do this.
You know what's interesting about that? And Terry, I'm going to steal your line. I don't want to sound like the old guy.
You steal Terry's lines a lot. I'm noticing that. You're stealing his lines
Yeah,
a lot.
he steals lines.
Man,
I don't remember
copyright
saying
infringement.
But then when he says it, I did say that.
I don't, because I have nothing original to add. So
yes, you do. Don't sell yourself short.
Terry, all jokes aside, I'm going to sound like the old guy. I don't think I've ever seen anything like the whole Fab Five, that 2 years. I'm not joking. It was all encompassing. It was social. It was cultural. It was everybody was talking about it, and it wasn't just around here. It was like national. It was. Honestly, I don't know if you're old enough to remember it, Braylon.
Come on, man. What? I'm definitely old enough to remember that. At the end of the day, you'll never see anything Never say never, but pretty close to never see anything like that. It's 5 individuals come in together as freshmen and just do what they did, not only just on the court, the swag.
It was
the changing of the culture. Black shoes, black socks, long pants. They even made Jordan start wearing longer shorts. Like, you'll never see something like that again. There's been some good teams. Like, there's been some good players. You got UNLV, the Running Rebels in 91, 91. You have Duke has had a couple of those teams. Kentucky's had a couple of those teams, but like that was different. Like, that is special.
You're not going to get many people to admit this, but if you were a Spartan fan, if you were a Buckeye fan, it didn't matter. Everybody was in on the Fab Five. Everybody was.
Right.
No, it's not like I'm going, yay, go color that rhymes with glue or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you were all in on that team, and deep down inside, you wanted to see those kids succeed. You did.
Yeah, my Spartan
I
wife was rooting for those guys.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, because they represented a culture. They represented, what a lot of black kids wanted to be. And here's another thing. The first black socks, you know what they were? Thick and Thins.
No.
You know what thick and thins are? They're dress socks.
No kidding.
They put the dress socks
church
over
socks.
the white. Yeah, the little shirt socks. We used to call them thick and thins.
It's kind of what I wear when I'm cutting my lawn. I have my sandals on. Yeah, I have my sandals on, and I put my long black socks on. And
only thing I can think of close to the Fab Five in terms of the essence of what something was for us would be the U in the 80s. Like the U in the 80s, but then you had a bunch of people that hated the U, and you had a bunch of people that loved the U. Like Fab Five, everybody loved.
It was, you know what?
Subdued.
It was our parents hated Miami, and we loved it.
We loved the U.
Coming out with the dry ice and everything, and Michael Irvin catching a 10-yard pass and acting like he just won the Super Bowl. Yeah. It was different. It was. I remember the first. You can go back and they played Oklahoma for the title in '88. He catches like an 11-yard pass and jumps up like it's the end of the game, and it was like, it is the end of the game because Oklahoma's going, what the hell do we do with these guys? I mean,
they won that. They beat Oklahoma that game, right? And then they turn around and played them the first game of the next season, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were unbelievable.
Here's the difference: Miami embraces the players from the U. They invite them back on the sidelines. They have them in their Hall of Fame. They have a lot of things. Do you know how many Fab Five players are in the University of Michigan Sports Hall of Fame? 0.
It's a shame.
They're not welcome back. Having Juwan come back was a huge thing. No. So Michigan, for it to be the same, Michigan's going to have to embrace these guys again because they brought a lot to that university.
Man, that's an
Did
understatement.
they ever? Oh, my gosh.
Understatement.
All right, we're going to wrap it up when we come back. Is it time for the Lions to retire that patch? We'll have that conversation when we come back. Braylon Edwards, Terry Foster, Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
Bridge Street Exchange, downtown Fenton. I'm trying to find me a shirt. Ooh, look at these swimming shorts. What are you doing over there, Stick?
I'm trying to find me a drink. Ooh, look at these bonfire bitters.
Ready for summer.
Let's go.
Ever since Corey's been wearing this LeBron James jersey around the network, it's been falling down a lot.
And really, that's it. Dan Campbell is going to be the man for the Lions. Don't you agree, Corey? I didn't even touch you.
You know the funny thing about watching that video with Corey and the flopping is it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. We're looking at the same thing. We're all looking at the same thing. Let's be adult about it and call it for what he's flopping.
Yeah.
But today, 2 people can look at the same thing and go, that's not a riot. That's not a flopper. You're damn wrong. It is a flopper.
That's not an eye.
You know what? When I was a youth, when I played basketball, they taught you how to flop. They taught you how to do like this. And
flop or take a charge?
Take the charge, but still flopping. Because you're not, and when you get hit, oh my God.
Shit, if Zion Williams hit you in the chest, I don't know. You might do all that.
I know, but you get some 5'2" guy, you're not going to do, but we were taught to do that.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Kennedy, you brought this up, and I don't think about things like this. I'm being serious. Like, I don't study the uniform, but I know this is a thing. A lot of people have complained about the WCF patch on the Lions jersey for the last few years. And a lot of people are like, okay, it's time to go. Like that number 9 guy went. A lot of people feel like it's time to go. And what's interesting, Kenny, I think this is such a great point. Some feel we did a worse version of the Bears who do it for George Halas. George Halas founded the team, coached the team, and won 6 championships. I don't know how to tell the Lions this, especially when you're talking about it's their father or their late husband. People do not hold William Clay Ford in high esteem. I'm just shooting straight with you right now. People do not. This isn't like Papa Bear, George Halas, who is held and esteemed. People don't hold William Clay Ford in high esteem. As a matter of fact, most people tend to blame him for the Lions' ineptitude of the last 60 years. So I think the comparison between, well, remember the Bears kept it so long. That was a beloved figure, Papa Bear of the Bears. I don't think you're going to hear people saying that about William Clay Ford. Rest his soul, no disrespect. I'm just shooting straight with you, folks.
I'll let you stick to the political side of this this conversation. I would just say this. Whenever something like that happens, it's meant to be for a year. It's meant to be for a memorial of a year or an anniversary. Hey, this is the 25th anniversary of the league or the team's existence or, whatever. 1 year. Because didn't the Tigers do it with Ernie Harwell? Mm-hmm. I have that jersey. Like, I have the EH, the Ernie Harwell, and then it was gone. 1 year. Like 7 years, 6 years, it's too long, especially if the sentiment is what you say it is.
See, the thing is, the Lions don't know any better. I mean, they don't. They don't know any better. So this was our guy. No matter how incompetent he was, we're going to keep the patch on too long. But to me, I knew the patch was there, but it just doesn't register to me.
I feel the same way. It's not like I look at the jersey and go, uniform. Hey, that's sticking out like a sore thumb. But
I never even noticed it until we talked this morning.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Steve said, I'd be more than okay with removing the WCF. He was a bad owner and responsible for a lot of their issues because he was too loyal. And I'm sorry, I feel the same way. Like, somebody needs to tell you. I'm not being disrespectful to your father. I'm not being disrespectful to your husband, your uncle, whatever the case may be. He isn't held in high esteem amongst the fan base. Everybody has to find a villain, right?
Right.
Everybody has to find a villain. That's the way that it is. And, this coronavirus thing, it seems like every other day a new villain is, now it's Fauci. All these villains need to appear. A lot of people hold William Clay Ford single-handedly responsible for what ailed the Detroit Lions for many, many years.
Similar to maybe Donald Sterling getting a patch for the Clippers.
Yeah, could you imagine that, right?
A DS on there. That wouldn't make any sense. And in fact, in L.A., it might piss some people off to see. Yeah. Here we're kind of the Midwest, and we're nice, and we just kind of tolerate it. But so we're not going to get angry about the whole thing. But in L.A., if you put Donald Sterling on there, they might want to fight.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, it's interesting because Terry, you and I basically said the same thing. I don't think they understand that people feel that way about WC Ford.
No, they don't, because they don't listen to their fan base. They have never listened to their fan base. Maybe the only time is when they had the Million Man March, and even then, William Clay Ford extended the dude. So for years, the Lions, maybe they listened to their fan base and just said, we're going to do the exact opposite.
Right.
So how are you going to embrace that mentality? Take the damn patch off.
It's going to have to come from the coach. Like, I think that's something, Coach Campbell, I think that's something that he could, if it was a big deal, he could, as part of the complete change of what this is, we want to change the jersey, take that off or something like that. If it came from him, I think it would have a chance.
What kind of moron would organize some kind of march like that?
I don't know.
Anyway, Terry, I'm convinced to this day that move doesn't happen until Bill Jr. went in front of the DAC and talked about what a disaster Matt Millen was and his father should get rid of him. This is one man's opinion, and I'd be intrigued to hear yours, Terry. I think Mr. Ford kind of took nobody's going to tell me how to run my business. I like Matt Millen. He lets me pretend that I'm part of the team and all that stuff, and I'm not going to get rid of him. It seemed to me that everything unraveled the second that Bill Ford Jr. It was in front of the DAC said, "I've been trying to tell my dad forever. We need to get rid of this guy."
Yeah, you let the dirty laundry out.
Yep.
And the Lions really hate that, and so I think the old man said, "Hey, it's out." So my son, who helped bring him in, it says we should be done with him. So let's make that move. But I also think selfishly, Bill Ford Jr. was trying to get back in with the organization. He didn't want to see what happened with Sheila Ford Hamp, where she's the ABC now, and I'm out.
Yeah.
So I think he was trying to get back in, but it didn't work.
Interesting story. Matt Millen and my father are friends. Stan Edwards played professional ball, whatever. They're friends. Matt Millen was at my pro day, and this is 05. Lions had picked 10, and they had picked 28 or
Boy,
29.
they nailed it with that Mike Williams fella.
Matt Millen wanted to trade up to get me in the draft, and I just didn't want to play at home. Like, I didn't want to play at home because I saw what happened to Charles Rogers.
Yeah.
Like, Charles Rogers playing at home, like, all his friends could drive down from Saginaw, and he had, rest in peace, had 40 people at his house. So every time he went out, I just wanted to get away from, like, that close to immediate family. I ended up going to Cleveland, which is not much further, but I almost was a Lion, man.
Yeah. I say this all the time, Terry. I don't know what your interactions were with the guy. I thought Matt was a personable, great guy. He treated me wonderfully. I have no problem with Matt Millen. He's arguably the worst general manager in the history of general managers, and that's not an overstatement.
Bingo.
But I don't want Mother Teresa as my quarterback just because she's a nice person. I don't want a nice quarterback. I don't want a nice general manager. I don't care if you're the dirtiest son of a bitch on earth. Are you doing the job? I want you. Yeah. That's a guy I want.
Once again, why'd they bring him in? Because he's a good guy.
He's a good dude.
He's my guy.
Good dude. Arthur.
I mean, listen, I'm not going crazy and saying that we need not Honolulu blue and a whole new scheme for the suits and everything, but what is it going to take to get rid of the logo? What is it going to take to get rid of that patch? Is it something to where, like, they're so invested in the Ford brand, obviously? I mean, you have the daughter there now, but what is it going to take to get rid of that patch? Because it's been so long.
Mama Ford will have to say, okay, it's okay to get rid of it. Until she does that, then that patch is going to stay.
Might just have to wait her out.
Interesting. All right, listen, that's going to do it for us today. Arthur, thank you. Kennedy, thank you. Fish, great to have Braylon Edwards here.
Appreciate it,
dude. You bring it seriously.
You guys are the ones, man. Like, I'm honored to be up here with you, man.
No, appreciate you, Terry.
I
you'll be
ran
back
into
on?
this young man many years ago outside of a strip mall, and I said, we're going to do a show together one day.
He said strip mall, not
strip
club.
Mall. Yeah.
Not strip club,
yeah,
but strip mall.
No Pac-Man stuff going for the eats.
No.
It was a strip mall. Terry, now you're not going to be here Thursday, right?
I will not be here Thursday or
tell
next
Monday. Tell
Monday.
him where you're going, Terry.
Damn it.
Huh?
We'll miss you, T.
Tell him where you're going. You're going somewhere this
Flying
weekend.
out to see my daughter graduate from Stanford University.
Congratulations.
With honors, and we're very excited. And she's supposed to give a talk.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
For real?
For real.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Get some clips of that.
That's great. All right, listen, until tomorrow, Joyke will be back for everybody. Thanks for watching us. Make sure you check out The Hook just a couple hours from now right here on Woodward Sports. Later.